This is the Morning Shower.
Brought to you by Late Night Hump.
Let the news wash over you.
With Jordan Freed,
Brendan O'Brien,
and Reena Ezra. These are your ShowerHead Lines.
2 investment firms will buy a majority stake in Hertz Global Holdings, Inc. for $4.2 billion under a restructuring plan expected to help it out of bankruptcy by early to midsummer, the car rental company said in a filing on Tuesday. It figures that the car rental company also had to rent their own money.
An Amazon worker plunged to his death yesterday at one of the company's facilities in Las Vegas. Employees at the Amazon facility, the largest in the state at 855,000 square feet, were sent home early with pay after the incident. Well, look at that. All it took for Amazon to pay their employees was for someone to kill themselves.
3D printed vegan steak proves it's as good as the real thing in a blind taste test. Don't worry, if you run out of color ink, you can still print your meat in black and white.
Spacewalking astronauts ventured out Sunday to install support frames for new, high-efficiency solar panels arriving at the International Space Station later this year. NASA's Kate Rubins and Victor Glover put the first set of mounting brackets and struts together, then bolted them into place next to the station's oldest and most degraded solar wings. But the work took longer than expected, and they barely got started on the second set before calling it quits. I totally get it. Doing house chores sucks.
Researchers in New Zealand have discovered 3 new shark species that glow in the dark. The study explains how the kitefin shark, the black-belly lantern shark, and the southern lantern shark were found during a survey off the Chatham Rise, an oceanic area off of New Zealand's east coast. This is great news for people who are afraid of the dark, but terrible news for people who are afraid of the sharks.
Senator Mitt Romney is recovering after a fall over the weekend knocked him unconscious and resulted in a lot of stitches. Apparently he was in Boston visiting his son and grandchildren, but it wasn't a fall. Romney got mixed up in some business between an undercover cop, Billy Costigan, and a mole in the Boston Police Department in an attempt to identify them while infiltrating an Irish gang in South Boston, a gang led by Frank Costello. Mitt Romney was helping Billy Costigan gain the mobster's trust. Romney was lucky he didn't get thrown off a roof and plummet to his death.
A Moroccan landscape painted by Winston Churchill and owned by Angelina Jolie sold at auction on Monday for more than $11.5 million, smashing the previous record for a work by Britain's World War II leader. Unfortunately, Hitler's paintings sell for $15 million.
New video shows 2 suspects wanted for violently robbing a delivery person in Midtown Manhattan. Police say the suspects approached the 43-year-old victim while he was making a delivery. If you want to help give justice to a poor delivery guy, you can call the NYPD's Crime Stoppers hotline with any pertinent information at 1-800-577-TIPS. Or, you could just tip your delivery people.
Senator Rand Paul was criticized for comparing gender-affirming surgery to genital mutilation during confirmation hearings for Dr. Rachel Levine, President Joe Biden's nominee for Assistant Secretary of Health. If approved, Levine will become the first openly transgender federal official to be confirmed by the U.S. Senate. Rand Paul, a former ophthalmologist, was questioning Levine about transition-related care for transgender youth when he said that, quote, genital mutilation is considered particularly egregious because it is nearly always carried out on minors and is a violation of the rights of children, end quote. Rand Paul is just throwing a hissy fit because he didn't get accepted as one of the contestants on RuPaul's Drag Race.
3 men and a woman pleaded not guilty on Tuesday to a charge of criminal damage over their alleged role in the toppling and tossing of a statue of 17th century slave trade magnate Edward Colston into a harbor in Bristol in southwest England last year. They argued that the statue jumped.
An Oklahoma woman was jailed over the weekend after Cheetos residue on her teeth helped link her to an attempted robbery. Officers investigating the scene moments later found a bag of Cheetos and a bottle of water on the floor near the open window. Investigators believe the burglar dropped the bag on the way out before fleeing the property. Police soon found a suspect, identified as Sharon Carr, and noticed that she still had some Cheetos residue stuck between her teeth. This robbery and this news story joke are both dangerously cheesy.
Authorities are investigating vandalism and a fire at a Buddhist temple in the Little Tokyo section of downtown Los Angeles. Surveillance video caught a man jumping the security fences at the Higashi Hongaji Buddhist temple, smashing a 12-foot-high glass window with a rock, yanking a pair of metallic lanterns off their concrete bases, and lighting 2 wooden lantern stands on fire. The authorities couldn't get any other information on the criminal because the monks pled the fifth.
The Tokyo Olympics made a symbolic gesture towards gender equality on Tuesday by appointing 12 women to the body's executive board. The board will now have 19 women among its 45 members, or 42%. To accommodate the new women, the size of the board was increased from 35 to 45. Several resignations on Tuesday also created more space. The move was announced by CEO Toshiro Muto after an executive board meeting. The names of the new members were expected to be announced on Wednesday. Now the catastrophe that is the Japan Olympics won't only be blamed on men.
6 Dr. Seuss books will no longer be published because they, quote, portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong, end quote, the business that preserves the author's legacy said. The announcement was made today, the birthday of the famed children's book author. And now, a birthday wish for Dr. Seuss. We heard it was your special day. For this we shout, hip hip hooray! On March 2nd, we celebrate your legacy, just like you celebrated white supremacy. You get a gift for which you'd be gracious. We've banned the books that are truly racist. So happy birthday to you, Dr. Seuss, even though you hated the Jews.
A Polish court on Tuesday acquitted 3 activists who had been accused of desecration and offending religious feelings for producing and distributing images of a revered Roman Catholic icon altered to include the LGBT rainbow. The posters, which they distributed in the city of Plock in 2019, used rainbows as halos in an image of the Virgin Mary and the baby Jesus. Their aim was to protest what they considered the hostility of Poland's influential Catholic Church towards LGBT people. The court in the city of Plock did not see evidence of a crime and found that the activists were not motivated by a desire to offend anyone's religious feelings, but rather wanted to defend those facing discrimination, according to Polish media. Wow, things have changed since I was a kid. When kids called me gay, they got suspended 5 days. Now you could call the church gay with no repercussions? Thank you for showering with us.
Lather, rinse, repeat every day before noon.
Scrub-a-dub-dub at latenighthump.com.